Hello, and welcome to another episode of Priscilla Perspective. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I'd like to invite you into a conversation that's very personal to me. I'm almost 55 years old, and sometimes I find myself looking back at the way I grew up and comparing it to the world we live in today. This isn't about saying the past was perfect or that today is wrong. Every generation has its own strengths, struggles, and lessons we can learn from. Today, we're beginning a two-part series called Then versus Now. When I was growing up, it takes a village to raise a child wasn't just a saying, it was simply the way we lived. Once I walked out my front door, I represented my family. Whether I was walking to school, going to the store, or playing outside with friends, I knew my behavior mattered. Because you never knew who might see you. It could be a neighbor, a relative, someone from church, or one of my parents' friends. If they caught me doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, believe me, my parents knew before I made it home. Adults looked out for one another's children because they genuinely cared. That was our village. We were taught to respect our parents, grandparents, teachers, and neighbors. Respect wasn't optional. Neither was taking responsibility for our actions. Helping around the house, looking after younger siblings, checking on grandparents, and doing chores were simply part of being a family. And when those street lights came on, you knew it was time to go home. Looking back, I realized those rules weren't there to make life harder. They were preparing us for life. Childhood looked different then. We spent more time outside than on screens. We talked face to face. We laughed together. We solved disagreements together. Those moments built friendships that lasted. Those conversations taught us how to listen. They taught us how to respect different opinions. And they reminded us that real connection happens when people spend time together, not just through a screen. Those are lessons I still carry with me today. I also remember the sacrifices our parents made. Many worked long hours, sometimes more than one job, so their children could have opportunities they never had. When those children became successful, many reached back to help the parents and families who helped them along the way. To me, success should never mean forgetting the people who stood beside you when you had nothing. Kindness, respect, responsibility. Those values never go out of style. No matter how much the world changes, they'll always matter. Every family has a different story, but I believe every generation has something to teach, and every generation has something to learn. Next time in Then versus Now, Part 2, we'll talk about how that village began to change, what we gained, what we lost, and what we can learn as we move forward together. If today's conversation brought back memories for you, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and as always, God bless.